All right, good evening and welcome, traders. It is Friday evening, 11/10/2023. So November 10th, 2023. Let's take a look at the markets and see what happened. And then we'll jump into the accounts, see how the 112 trades actually saved me from being stupid today. And we'll talk a little bit about where things are going. So overall, good week. We ended up the week nicely on SPY here, moving up, ended today up massively, up 1.6%, almost at 68 bucks higher on SPX, which was 6.77 higher on the SPY. Really solid up week. We got a PSR bullish signal. MACD, it's the second correction week in the other direction, the upward direction in a row, and the RSI heading higher. So overall, really good weekly moves on SPY. And if we look at the daily move, again, this is why we don't count a one-day reversal candle like yesterday on MACD. It's got to take at least 2-3 in a row, and today was another up day. So moving higher, breaking above the 2 ATR, and RSI moving higher. We are not oversold. We are not overbought. We are not anything on the SPY. We're just moving higher, but getting above the 2 ATR gives us some reason to pause here, but it doesn't mean we can't go higher. And we have certainly seen things get up to 3 ATR and continue to move higher. And we'll show you a little bit about how that worked today on doing some day trading, zero DTE stuff. Not great, good, but not great. All right, let's take a look at the Qs. The Qs, great up week as well. PSR bullish signal today, breaking out of the channel to the upside. MACD RSI running higher on the weekly, and on the daily, same thing. MACD RSI running higher, breaking all the way up above the 2 ATR to the 3 ATR, closing at the highs of the session. So really good bullish moves today. I think lots of good things to hang your hat on. If you are a bull. If you are a bear, it is a painful time for you. If you thought we were breaking down and getting ready to get all kinds of short loading up on your puts, you have been in a world of hurt. IWM today managed to keep it together as opposed to the last couple of days of selling off and put in a little bit of a base. If we look at the weekly chart here, we did break out of this downtrend. It came back down, hit the bottom of the downtrend, and that's where we stopped, finishing off the lows of the week. MACD is moving higher. RSI is trying to move higher, but it's not above the 50, and it's really not a good looking move on the weekly for ISM. And when we look at the daily chart here, it's been a horrific week for IWM, but a good bounce today, finishing up, touched the 21 EMA, couldn't make it, trying to hold on to this downtrend line here. MACD 3 days down, RSI heading lower, but a good move up today. So it's really in kind of a no man's land. It's a good spot, I think, to sell naked puts. I mean, I think credit spreads and naked puts on IWM here at these lows is a much better trade than trying to put something on after this massive run up in SPY. I think getting long here is not the best move. Doesn't mean it can't go higher. Doesn't mean you can't find some stocks. We'll show you a few stocks that we like, but overall, when you're starting to get overextended as we are here, getting long on that move, not so great. On IWM, coming back down near this bottom, having a couple support levels in place, having a weekly reversal, looks good. All of those things are positive for IWM, so I do like where we are on the IWM. Put to call ratio pretty much unchanged on the session today, and really not much happening here. Again, I like the 3 ATR. So if we look at this particular chart, the lower this 10-day moving average goes, and it is in a downtrend moving lower, the lower this travels, the higher the SPX or the SPY will move. We're right back to this channel here, just trying to break out of it since July. And we're looking at a daily chart here. But I think when you're looking at this thing overall, the lower this 10-day moving average goes, the higher the market's going to continue to move. And the markets are looking good in relative terms, according to that particular move that we had on this downtrending line. You know, if I know this one's a little bit more severe, but if you actually take this line and put it on the way we had it here and redraw it, I mean, you can make these charts do anything you want to fit your narrative. But if you really look at this July high, like we just had on the put call chart, you know, we've tapped this thing, tapped it again in this descending triangle for the most part that we've moved into. We got some decent support in here, but we also got this resistance level, this downtrending move. We'll see what happens. We got to wait till next week to see if we break above, or if we fail here, turn lower and see what happens. The odds right now is that you have a strong weekly and a kind of a neutral-ish move to slightly bullish on the daily. So we'll see what happens. But that's all a derivative of this put call as it continues to fall. VIX on the day dropping again down to 14 and change, down 7%. Just volatility. It's just falling out of the market like crazy. So just terrible volatility overall in the marketplace. Not good for selling, but good for positions we already have on. So volatility dropping. If we look at the dollar, it's just hanging out in the box here. So this box of volatility that the dollar's been in, it's been up, it's been down, but mainly it's just been sideways, trying to improve and move back up on the daily, but on the weekly, this thing has not looked good at all. And you've got MACD moving lower along with RSI. So there's where you have it. Right now, no major divergences, nothing to really pay attention to. If we look at the 10-year today, had a decent, sideways move overall. So overall did nothing, I think down like 0.02, but it was lower and finished well off the lows of the day, really holding on to this uptrend line as well as holding on to the 50-day moving average. And just taking a look where we are, we just maintain this uptrend. So it's really a little bit better if we look at the low here, the low here, the closing here, the low here. It's just really been holding on to this uptrending line. MACD, RSI moving higher on the daily, but on the weekly, both are moving lower. What's going to win? My money is probably on the weekly. To me, it's always strongest in the weekly than it is on the daily. Daily gives you some fluctuations, but in the end, a weekly usually wins until the daily proves otherwise. We got a gap to fill, though, here on TNX. So can the rates bounce back up? Yeah, I definitely think the rates can move up. And then if we look at TLT, really nothing day today. It was up just fractionally, nothing to write home about, just moving sideways. The uptrend here still intact. But all these downtrends are still intact as well. MACD is rolling over now 2 days in a row. RSI not able, it's not getting to new highs, but the RSI is definitely not confirming new highs in here. But if we're looking at the weekly, there's some definite improvement. So I think overall, as I've been saying, I think this is not a bad spot to start getting long some TLT. We have been selling bonds, naked puts, for roughly 2 to 3 weeks now, really 2 weeks. We've been doing well on it. I'm not buying TLT, but I am selling puts, and that's been a great strategy moving forward on this as things start to improve, at least on the weekly here. But the daily is not giving you this, hey, we're going up a ton, but it is up decently. So up from 84 to 87 or so, and it's a 2%, change, but really nothing to write home about. All right, let's look at the futures. All right, taking a look at the Aussie dollar, finished off of its lows on the session, but still not looking great. If we look at the British pound here, finished well off its lows, but again, still not looking great. These are both up just fractionally. Look at the Canadian dollar. Let's take this line, which we haven't updated in a couple days. We'll move this line out, and look, man, we bounced off it, we broke it, we broke above it, we broke below it, we both broke up it, we bounced right on it again, and then today bounced right off of this today and move higher. So this is a pretty good support level here. We'll see if it holds, but if you're looking at the MACD and RSI, they are falling on the daily, not looking too good. And the weekly is pretty mixed looking chart. On the euro, we maintain this channel moving higher. MACD and RSI getting a little weaker on the daily, but the weekly overall looks decent on MACD and RSI. So pretty big divergences here. I think this sets up really well for a 112 trade or potentially a strangle. It's really in the middle of the bands, and you've got competing weekly and daily technicals. One's up, one's down. I think that spells strangle. All right, ZB we've already covered. Nothing exciting there today, just basically a flat sideways day. MACD and RSI starting to tip over a bit on that. Now, oil, the big story for this week, as with the last really 3 to 4 weeks, has been oil moving lower. MACD, RSI just dropping on the weekly. Doesn't look great on a weekly chart. Still, though, in the middle of the Bollinger Bands and the ATR bands. So really, it's not like it's at the bottom and it's just like super over anything, here. It's certainly not oversold on the weekly, but on the daily, you did get oversold. We talked about it. We talked about the chance that, you get the 3 ATR here. You're below the 2 ATR. You're at this bottom channel here, and you're at this support level. That all was good for me to expect a bounce, and we did get a little bit of a bounce today. One bar does not make a trend, so we're really not going to hang our head on that. We'll have to see 2 or 3 more up bars potentially, but really liked oil today. I love it here. I love it at 75. I think you can sell strangles. I think you can sell puts. The only thing on strangles that concerns me is the upside. Inventory levels still low. Yeah, we're on the, on the beginnings of winter where demand is typically weaker. This is not like natural gas where demand is stronger in the winter. This is oil. Now, it doesn't mean you won't use oil in the winter at all, but most people aren't heating their house, with crude oil. Okay, most people are heating their house with natural gas or something along those lines. So crude oil is really going to be used for transportation, airplanes, shipping, things like that. Not heating people's houses. However, we're at the beginning of the winter stage. We'll see where we go on it, but I do like it, and I think you are one stray missile away in the Middle East right now of setting this thing on fire to the upside. Okay. Something stupid by Iran, and I don't put it past Iran to do something idiotic. I don't put it past any of these other countries, whether it be Syria or anyone else, Jordan, Lebanon, Hezbollah, Hamas. I don't put it past anyone to do stupid things out in the Middle East that sets the world of oil on fire, no pun intended. So you are like one stray missile, one bad attack, one bombing, one something, Iran blockading. It doesn't matter what it is. You are one thing away from oil shooting up 10 to 20 points in a 2-day session. I don't see a whole lot of things that could happen that would send oil plummeting to 60. So I like the mid-70s here. I like that 78-ish range. I thought that was a good range. We did come down all the way to 75-ish and a half and change. I like it here. I'm going to continue to put on 112 trades and naked puts in oil. It's my favorite trade right now. I think the downside is somewhat limited, even though it's in a downtrend. And I think the upside is unlimited. So I think you got to put on trades that make sense for that. And to me, it is a 112 trade, or potentially an FB 112, or even a BA 112, or any of the other versions that we use, skinny 112s, fat 112s. It doesn't really matter. Any of those, I think, are perfect on oil. Gold, on the other hand, and gold got taken out to the woodshed and beat the crap out of this week. Gold, not a good week, dropping from 2025 to 1962. Pretty good drop on gold. You managed to take this MACD and RSI that were rising and completely turn them around in 1 week to a pretty negative looking outlook. If we look at the daily, I mean, we have been trending down on MACD and RSI for a while, since October 20th. So no real surprise here, but we're still in good shape. I got one winning strangle, one down, one strangle that's down in gold. So one up, one down. But I do like it here. I think this pullback, look at I mean, when you run from 1843 all the way up to to 2040 or something like that, you ran 200 points in gold. Okay, this is a 10% up move that was almost unrelenting. Pulling back to the 50 and 21 moving averages, not the worst thing in the world. I think it's a good move. Okay, this move was overdone, and you got RSI oversold. You got to the 3 ATR and stayed that way for a week or two. Okay, and now you pulled back to the 21 and 50. Okay, totally fine on gold. If you're panicking on gold, you shouldn't be, because you should really like it where it is. If we look at the weekly here, you are dead center of Bollinger Bands and dead center of the 3 ATR bands. Okay? And you're right at the 50 and close to the 21 moving averages. You're dead center. I think it's a perfect strangle. So stop worrying about it and make some trades that make some sense. Okay, out there. Let's take a look at oil. Volatility dropped off today with oil rising. However, oil volatility overall still doing well, even though it's come off its highs, but still not bad. If you look at the oil IV rank, it's 51 on Tasty Trade. So still good volatility in oil. It's very tradable. Gold, on the other hand, has really sold off as far as volatility goes. IVR is 27.5 on Tasty, which is not bad. So it's not a terrible thing to do. And if we look at the C-vol, it's not great either. But I like where gold is here. I think it's a tradable commodity, especially on a 112, which don't set up really well for gold, or especially a strangle on gold. Let's take a look at the sectors today. Leading sector, semiconductors, rocketing 12% today. Fantastic day with semis. Unbelievably great day with semis. We had already broken the descending wedge here, so we already knew this thing was off to the races. MACD's been moving higher. RSI broke to 50 and moving higher. Even the weekly had turned around 2 weeks ago and was moving higher, broke to 50 this week. This all set up for a big move this week. If you got into it on some of the charts that we have been showing for a week now, congratulations to you. It's been a pretty easily dictated path. If we look at XLK, up solidly on the day, massive up move, 2.6% on XLK, your consumer discretionary. I'm sorry, XLK is your tech. If we look at XLY here, that's your consumer discretionary. Good rebound day from yesterday, moving up 1.6%. Communication also moving up, getting very close to the top of this band, which is where we'll start to pay some attention, being a reversal trader that we are. And then almost every other sector was positive. The only thing not positive was your pharma, which has just not had a good year or more. And this thing has just been in a horrific downtrend, continues its downtrend. It broke it a bit, moved up, and then reestablished the downtrend. So this thing still not looking too bueno here. MACD, RSI falling on the daily. Not great on the sectors. Taking a look at some of the stocks today. Apple, big day, 2.2% up move. Again, MACD, RSI just moving higher. It wants to fill the gap. Now the question is here, can you actually, oops, I think I moved that thing where I shouldn't have. Okay, it's got to fill this gap to the upside, so we'll see. We'll keep an eye on it. But we're close to hitting the gap here. But you didn't leave a whole lot of gaps on the way down with Apple like many other tech stocks did. Microsoft left a few little gaps on the way up and broke into this new high. So if we really pan out, we take a look at the charts on it, and let's take a look at a little longer term. Well, that means there's a PSAR reversal on that noise, and yes, it is. So on the weekly, we got a PSAR bullish reversal, setting a new higher level. I'm sorry, that was Amazon. So Amazon looking pretty good. Let's take a look at Microsoft, though. Microsoft setting a new high up in here, 370. PSAR reversal 3 weeks ago. This thing looks fantastic. Amazon also looking very strong. PSAR reversal this week in a squeeze on Amazon. So you're squeezing on Amazon. Very interesting here, considering you are overbought and you've got MACD starting to tip over, but weekly looks strong. Some mixed signals, definitely squeezing a bit on the weekly. Look how tight these Bollinger Bands are. So you're squeezing on the weekly. This thing could get moving to the upside, maybe to 130, 158 or so, which would be another 15 points up from Amazon here. I think that's good looking. I think Meta is also good looking. You've got this top of this resistance level being broken here on this. So this looks good. So Meta continues to look good. Google coming back, trying to fill the gap. Hasn't done it yet, but it's moving to the upside. NVIDIA with the other semis just continues to march higher, getting pretty close to overbought territory ahead of earnings, which is not the best place to be on that. Tesla, I mean, there's gaps all over the place on this thing. Technically, I think we may have filled the gap today, technically. Let's see, the gap on this was 205.99, and today's low was 205.69. So technically, you did fill the downside gap. Pretty weak, but you did it anyway. I think that's a good move for Tesla. So it filled this downside gap. It's pretty free to go anywhere right now. If you're looking at the weekly, though, that trend is down. If you're looking at the daily, that trend is pretty much sideways. I'm not getting long Tesla at all. All right. Netflix just continuing to march higher, breaking the 3 ATR, overdone to the upside. AMD, huge gains. I mean, AMD has been parabolic for 2 weeks now, moving from 95 to almost 120, but above the 3 ATR. You're overdone. Qualcomm, above the 3 ATR, very overdone. And so you're looking at all of these stocks, NVIDIA. So your semi's been on fire. But when we looked at that sector, okay, that thing's it's above the 2 ATR, getting to the 3. Pretty hefty move to the upside. All right, let's take a look at the account today, see where things ended up. And overall, today, 382 on our Delta. Love where we are on Delta. Nothing to really cover there. 811.60 on Theta. Great Theta. We're perfectly in line. Our net lick moved up today again, 324, 267. We're very close to a new all-time high. Just a percentage point or two, I think 1.5% from a new all-time high. Here, BP usage dropped today to 73% of our account. And again, you know that Bill takes up over almost 10% of that. So we're really sitting about 63% like that. Daily realized a gain of 385 today. That gives us $5,500 more for the week. So $5,500 week. We are now up 15,441 for the month so far. So I think this is a fantastic month. 4.8% return, and it's only the 10th of the month. There's a lot more to go, and there's 112 trades and other stuff coming off. So assuming we don't have anything stupid happen, we're going to have a monthly realized gain that is one of the largest that we can recall. We've had some this $19,000 week was probably one of the largest that we've had. Can we hit 19,000 again? Yeah, I think that's very likely to be an outcome this month. Again, if we don't do stupid things. Today we did stupid things, and I'll go into that a little bit more. And then the net lick is up almost $3,000 for the month. But let's take a look at where this 385 came from on trading today. And there were 4 trades in the pipeline today. So we started off with a call credit spread 0 DTE trade. I put on a half size at 5, and never got a chance to add to it. It quickly came off and was a 60% winner in a very short period of time today. In fact, I think we put that on at 9:51 and we took it off at 10:09. So we weren't even in this trade 18 minutes. So an 18-minute winner there, perfectly timed, perfectly set up. We only did half size because I thought maybe we could add to it if we moved against it, and we did not. Then we closed, I believe we closed the naked puts. Yeah, so we closed the remaining adjusted naked puts. We had already adjusted these puts. We've rolled twice and adjusted the naked puts on the FB112 2 times, and then finally just closed them out for another $2.60 credit to just close those out. So we got a nice credit to close it out. This was probably one of the largest percentage winning trades we may have ever had here. We have adjusted the PDS twice and closed it, and we've adjusted the naked puts once, turning them into a PDS, locking in the profits on that, and they're still running. So this trade's not over yet. When it's over, I'll update you on it, but this single trade might be one of the greatest winning trades we've ever had percentage-wise. And right now, we've had 4 adjustments plus a closed PDS, and we still have part of this trade left running. So great trade there. And then we had another 112 trade today that came off. We took off the naked puts on this at 95%, locking in the profits, booking 525. Now, this is not a long-term 112. This was just a standard 112 that we threw in there. We do these around 60-day. It's actually a 63 DTE trade. We took it off after about 56 days. This thing is done and finished. I believe it's finished. Now, let me double check. November 17th. No, the PDS is still on. So that PDS that's been adjusted is actually still on, and the PDS is still a credit even after the move up. So this thing's not done either. It's just a PDS that's helping us out with our delta. And then the last thing here, this was the stupid trade of the day. I got carried away. I went in with another call credit spread. Here we did run almost at the money, 4,400, 4,405 for $1.45. I closed it out at 285 for a loss, almost a 1x loss on this thing. We only had 3 on. We lost $420, but we really didn't need to lose the money. It was dumb. Markets were trending up. I felt it could go higher. I still put this on knowing that my risk was capped because we put it on at the money. So I knew what my risk would be. I wasn't even planning on taking it off, but I saw the markets moving higher. So I just adjusted it. I should not have done it. Kind of got carried away with some of the other members doing some trades. And I thought, okay, I'll try to go against my better judgment. And that cost me $420. So again, stupid trade. Shouldn't have done it. Did it cost us on the day? No, we still had a nice winning day overall, $385 up. Had we not done that, though, we'd have made almost $800 on the session. So still a good day, but just stupid things. Zero DTE, it's a stupid trade. We make some money on it. We've had a good run on it. If we look at our zero DTE trades, we've won 10, lost 3, and we're down on the month, but we're up overall over $9,000 in 3 months with over a 90% win rate. So this month, a couple losers, but these losers have been more significant than our winners. Our winners, we keep half-sizing some of these and not getting in the way we should. And then we took a loss, and again, a stupid trade today. So bottom line is stick to your plan, okay? Have a plan. And what I did today was I traded based on, I kind of felt that it might be a good opportunity. I kind of got swept up with the momentum of the day. And I'm really a pretty unemotional trader, but I don't feel that was an emotional trade necessarily, but it certainly was not in line with my mechanics. So I strayed from the plan a little bit, and I took a little bit of a loss. Still had a decent up day. We had a great week, $5,500 on the week. We're up 15 grand on the month. Overall, we're doing really, really, really well. But stuff when I do stupid things like that, it really irks me. and we saw it come back to bite us for a couple $100. Again, not the end of the world. We still had a good day, but I think you got to be smart. If we take a look at the small account here on the session, you can't get any more delta neutral than 0 delta. 25 on the theta, which is 0.16, a little bit low. Small account gets tougher to get that theta up over 20 or 0.2% much, but we're back, still hanging around all-time highs. BP usage dropped. We have some money to spend next week. We didn't close a single trade, but this is how the small trades go. The small trades, it's not active trading, it's a small account. You can't actively trade it. Now, I know there's guys out there doing the $1,000 challenge. I'll take it to 100 grand, or I'll do the $100 challenge and turn it into 100 grand. Okay, give me a break. I really could give a crap about anybody doing small account challenges and what have you. In fact, that was a little bit of a contest in one of the other Discords where we had our small account up against other people's trade styles. Well, we just booked 20% profit in 19 weeks. Okay, I dropped out today because I'm up 20% in 19 weeks. There's nothing else for me to really do. I'm the smallest account in that entire thing. Everybody else is adding to the accounts. They're trading 40, 50, $100,000. I'm trading here at 15 grand. Okay, I'm strapped with BP. I can't make a whole lot of extra moves. I'm just being consistent with 112 trades and then a few little one strangle at a time or one little naked put is about all we can do in this small account. But I'm up 20% in this account, okay, in the last 19 weeks. Okay, that's pretty doggone good. What's the market doing in the last 19 weeks? So if we take a look here and go back to, what is it? Let's take a look. And let's go back 19 weeks. 19 weeks from now would have been, about 5 months ago? So that would have put us somewhere around June. So if we look at the last 6 months in SPY, okay, since, what about June here? SPY's up 2.94%, 3%. So we'll say SPY's up 3% in that time frame, okay, in the last 5 months, which is essentially 20 weeks. So in the 20 weeks, SPY's up 3%. Okay. Hey, in the last 6 months, it's up 7%. I'm up 20% in the small account. Okay. It works. The strategies work, but it's boring as hell. And if you don't like it, I can't help you. Okay. Hey, there's not enough trades going on. It's money going on, folks. And we started this at 10 grand exactly 1 year ago this month. We started in November of last year with 10 grand even. We're at 15,356. We're up 50% in 1 year with boring trades. Look at the trades. We haven't traded, okay, here in 6 days. Okay, look at how many trades are going on. I mean, there's hardly any trades a week. We close a couple 112s here and there. We hit our profit for the month. We're already up. We already have 3% locked in. I mean, if you're 3% a month, that's 36% a year. Okay, we're on track. It's doing exactly what we want to do. I'm sorry I'm ranting on this thing, but I think you don't have to be excited. You don't have to trade every day. This proves, what do we have in the last 2 weeks? We only have 2 days where we closed anything. Okay, if I look at some of the holdings in the small account, okay, I got 1 strangle. I got 2 112 trades, standard 112, okay, and then I've got 4 long-term 112 trades, of which one of them we've already closed some of the naked puts on, okay, but we've booked money every, look at the booking every month for on a $10,000 to $15,000 account, okay, on a, let's just say it's a $14,000 account, and I want to make 3% a month. That's $420 a month, right? If you're sticking with me doing the math, look at this, 441 this month, and we're not done. 488 last month, 440 the month before, 615, 906, $1,400 in June, nothing in May, because a lot of it got pushed into June, back to April, 691, and then a pretty bad month here in March. Okay. Overall, we're up almost $4,000 on the year this year to date. So that's doing pretty well overall with realized gains on a $10,000 account. Okay, so there's again your 40% or so this year, or 30% this year, almost 40% in 1 year. You're just consistently doing it on boring stuff that makes money. Hey, you know what? Money's not boring. You don't have to trade every day. You know what happens when you trade every day? This happens. Okay. You make trades like the zero DTE crap that you shouldn't have done, and that puts a hurting on some of your overall returns. Stick to the basics. Be smart. Stop doing stupid things. Trade your plan. Don't trade with emotion. Okay. And you're going to be in great shape. Don't feel you got to do something every day. That small account is up more than the large account percentage-wise. A, because it's easier because it's small, but two, it's because I can't do stupid things in it. I don't have the buying power because it's small, so I stick to the plan. IRA, same type of thing. IRA is up pretty nice. Okay. This IRA is up $38,000 this year, and I took $10,000 out for a minimum required distribution for this person's account on here. So this is actually up almost $50,000 on a $200,000 account. Okay, that's almost 30%. Okay, so you got an IRA that's up 20%. What's the market up for the year? Okay, S&P is up 15%. I'm up 20% in an IRA. Okay, so I'm outpacing the market on a decent year. I'm outpacing the market, and I'm not done yet. Okay, I could still go even more, but I'm up essentially 20 some odd percent on the year to date so far. So anyway, there's where we are on the accounts. I hope this was helpful to you. If you like it, click the like button, click subscribe, get into the Discord, folks. Stop waiting, get in, see what we're doing. It's a blast, man. We got a ton of new members in here sharing some great stuff, making everybody think a little bit. And we're looking to have a pretty good event coming up. I think sometime maybe in February, March, somewhere warm, but we got a 2-day event that we're going to put on. We'll let you guys know what's happening there. We've got some great speakers. We've got Igor, we've got Gabe. Hopefully we'll get Ed and maybe a couple other people jumping in there. We're going to have some outside guests coming in, doing some training for you guys. It's going to be an unbelievable opportunity. If you want to get on board, stay tuned here, subscribe, get your notifications running, get the likes out there. Let's have a blast down somewhere warm in a month or two. Let's make some money that will pay for the entire trip for everybody. All right, everybody take care. Have a great weekend and enjoy the rest of your evening. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.